Hi, my name is Roshan, and in today's video, I'm going to talk about the films I watched in February 2024. I know today is 26th of March, well, while I'm recording this video, and I should be recording my video what I watched in March 2024. Anyway, I've got a new curtain and a new mic, so I was trying to figure out a way to record my videos on my webcam on my laptop, but I couldn't figure out the settings, so now I'm confused where to look at because the webcam, my laptop's camera is in the middle one, so I'm quite used to looking at in the middle, but now I don't know where to look at because my phone's camera, it is in this corner. Anyway, the first film which I watched in February is called Punch Drunk Love. Well, I wanted to watch this film for such a long time because it is a love story and I had heard that it's a quite unique one, and of course it was. This is a story of a mentally disturbed guy who's quite lonely, owns a little business, and he cries for no reason. Sounds familiar? Right? Anyway, so in a sense it was relatable because there was a scene in this film when our main character calls to have a conversation with a person, with a girl, a call girl, and they started threatening him that they will reveal his conversation, and he gets quite angry. Doesn't it happen with us? When we search something educational when we were a kid, right? To educate ourselves in the field of biology, and we got so scared that what if somebody finds out our history? So I found it very relatable and it was funny. And that love section, which I said that was a unique one, when he finds the love of his life, he becomes so strong, and that girl, she stays loyal with him. So yeah, a good watch, I would say. And after it, a couple of days later, I watched a very weird watch, Saltburn. This section is torn out, I don't know how, but this was a really weird watch. I would not recommend it to any of my friends. So whoever is watching, be ready for something nasty or something unpleasant to watch. My initial thoughts were, was it gay enough? Boy, it was like, it could not have been more weirder. This guy, Barry Keoghan, this Irish actor, he loves to play these weird characters, man. He's just completely into it. The film is about a few guys who are in Oxford University, and the main character is unable to make friends, and suddenly he makes few, and one of them invites him to his palace, Saltburn. And here the story starts getting weirder and weirder. I think that extra rich stuff, that weird things starts getting, and I would not recommend it to anyone. I felt like the cinematography is cool. Most of the films nowadays look good to our eyes, but I felt that it was such a waste of time. So I would not recommend it to anyone. The next film I watched was The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. Well, I had recently completed the books, which is just a single book divided into 3 parts. So I always look forward to watch adaptation of a book which I recently finished, and this was no exception. This film is my childhood. I remember being introduced to all these characters and amazing world, right? So, but this time rewatching it, maybe it was happening because I had recently read the book. It felt too slow for me. I was watching the extended version, but I felt like it was such a drag. I love that. I love this film, this whole series, the story, even I love the books. I don't hate the films, but this time, maybe as I said earlier that I had recently read it, but it felt too long. So I don't know if I'll watch the rest of the film, but does this film even require introduction? It is one of those epics that I think I would have enjoyed it more if I hadn't read the book earlier. The next film is Sicario by the master himself, Denis Villeneuve. I hope I have said it correctly. So this film is a non-science fiction by master. Well, he deserves this title. He is top of the world right now. This is a story about Mexican-American drug war. So, if I will remember this film forever, just because how beautifully it was shot. It's not about the story, but the intense cinematography of it. I read somewhere Denis had said that he hates dialogues and he remembers movies just because of the strong images. Maybe I don't agree with him completely here, but I kind of get it what he is trying to say. Take any of his films. There are dialogues, but the cinematography of each film of his is just out of this world. And I will always remember this film just because how intense the cinematography was and how Denis is able to portray the intense tension between the mafias and the officers. It's just out of this world. And talking about dialogues, there is another movie which falls into the same category, Three Iron. Don't be deceived by the poster. I'll talk about it. If it is mandatory to watch a Korean film each month, and this was my quota from February. I was expecting something like Handmaiden. I hope I've said it correctly, but it turned out to be completely different than what I had expected, and I was deceived by this poster. I do love films, slow burner, and where nothing much is happening. But man, this was such a drag. There was hardly any dialogues. So, as I was talking earlier, Denis said that films doesn't require dialogues, and he hates it. So, this was a kind of similar to that thought, but I didn't understand this film. The metaphors. It just went out of my head. And yeah, the film is about a guy who owns a bike. He doesn't speak a single word. He just roams around the town looking for empty apartments. And whenever he finds one, he spends his time till the owner's returns. And what he does there, cleans, makes food, repairs things, a pervert, right? One day he meets this girl, a housewife, who is being bullied, and then they just roam around the city together. So this was the film. I would not recommend it, but if you are looking for something metaphorical or something which you don't watch very often, just go ahead and watch it. My last film from the February, and probably the best film, A Silent Voice. This movie requires a separate video. I always return to watch this film every once in a while, and every time I watch it, there is something new for me. It makes me feel something within me which I don't really often feel. It evokes such emotions, right? It is one of those pieces of media which I'm not able to convey and put into words, right? And yeah, I hope one day if I'm able to make an essay video about it and how it actually makes me feel, I'll be really proud of myself. So, this is one of the reasons why I watch films, right? To be able to feel these unknown emotions which we don't really feel in our daily lives, right? This film is about a guy who wants to kill himself because he used to bully a girl in middle school, and then eventually he lost all of his friends, and life turns out that he is suicidal, been working his ass off, doing all the things, but then he decides to go and meet this girl. It's just a beautifully animated, good soundtrack, and just an indescribable story for me. It's a very simple story, right? He just wants to apologize to girl and make friends with her, but then there are some layers of it which I'm not able to convey and put it into words. So maybe in future I'll try to put into words and be able and hopefully I'll be articulate enough to say what I want to say. So yeah, this is it for today, and hopefully in my next video I'll talk about the films I have watched in March. So yeah, bye.